welcome everybody to Truth Guitar Method. My name is Joel. You can call me Joel, son of Cesar. And yes, my dad's name really is Cesar. I'm not kidding. One of these days I'm going to prove it to you. So today is lesson 6, man. And today the lesson is called Syncing Complete and Diminution. This week we're going to focus a little bit more on your chords. Not so much scales, because I'm expecting you to continue practicing those scales. And syncing complete means we're going to go back a little bit to your syncing exercises, and we're going to complete one of those exercises today. Now, before we continue, make sure that you guys subscribe, hit the little bell, and make sure you like my video, man. And make sure that you do those things. That way you are notified of when my videos are coming up next. Now, I'm going to tell you something, though. If you go to truthguitarmethod.com, you'll get a list of what videos are coming up in the next couple of weeks, next couple of months, because I have scheduled them strategically for your guitar journey. Also at Truth Guitar Method, I should tell you that website was built specifically to go with this YouTube channel. Some of the stuff that you'll find here, you'll find there. But some of the stuff you'll find there, you won't find here. So go to truthguitarmethod.com. It doesn't cost you anything. It's free. And there's free stuff, things you can download and read and learn to get better at. For example, today's lesson, there's going to be a document there that you might want to download and work on. Also, it's a place where you can get to know me a little bit better, or possibly even sign up for private lessons with me over Skype. That's right, all the way from Texas. That's it. Enough talking. Let's get right to the lesson. All right, so these last 5 weeks, we've been talking about the guitar routine and how a beginner should approach it. And we know that right now, you should be practicing your guitar routine, and it goes like this, basically, right? So you work on your left hand, and right now, at this very moment, in your first beginner session, you've got 3 exercises that you're working on. And that is the finger lifts, right? The finger swaps, and the hammer-ons. Then after you're done with the left hand, we go to the right hand, right? And on the right hand, we're working on alternating. And then after that exercises, we work on alternating bursts, which is the same thing, just a little faster. And you go all strings. And then when you're done with that, you work on your strumming. But today we're completing our syncing exercise, because way back when I gave you the syncing exercises, I gave you one exercise and I told you it wasn't complete. And the reason I didn't complete it is because since you're a beginner, I wanted you to focus on the higher strings before going on to the lower strings that have a little bit more tension on them. But by now, if you've been religious about your practicing and doing super good with your practicing, I think now it's time to extend it up to the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th string. Now, the exercise I'm talking about is the 3rd exercise. I'm talking about the adjacent finger exercise that takes place on the 5th position. So what you know so far is that you are going in different combinations with 1 and 2 on the 5th position, then 2 and 3, and then 3 and 4, then 1 and 3, then 2 and 4, and then finally 1 and 4. So right now what you've been doing is this. At least I hope that's what you've been doing, right? Because if you haven't done any of the stuff that we've been talking about, you shouldn't be on this lesson. Go back. Go to lesson 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and don't come to 6 until you've done those. Anyway, here's the exercise I'm talking about. Now the focus here is to move your fingers up and down as you go, right? Because you're trying to sync your hand. The other thing is, if you're struggling with alternate picking or alternate I&M, you want to focus on just one of them until you've gotten used to that feeling, and then alternate it. Then you go to 3-4. Remember to stay consistent and control the movement of your fingers. Then you go to 1 and 3. Then 2 and 4. That was ugly. And then 1 and 4. So here's the deal though. As you go through this exercise, that's the short version. What we're going to do now is you're going to do the exact same thing, 1 and 2, but now you're going from 1 and 2 on the first string all the way to the 6 and back down. Then 2 and 3 all the way to the 6 and back down. And then 3 and 4 all to 6 and back down. 1 and 3 to 6, back down. 2 and 4 all the way to 6, back down. And then 1 and 4 all the way to 6 and back down. This is a lengthy exercise, but it is super important that you keep the consistency going on the right hand of alternating down and up, or I and M depending on which you're doing. And on the left hand that you control the movement of which finger you're wanting to move. If it's the first finger you're moving, you want to focus on just the movement of that finger. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the exercise, and then I want you to make sure that you go to truthguitarmethod.com and download that PDF file. Okay, so here we go. And then you're done. You need to turn on a metronome. Again, you want to go slow and then slowly speed it up every single day, increasing. When you crash, that's your signal to go back down to the original speed you started at, and then slowly build up again. It's not that I don't want you to go fast, it's that we're focusing on building the muscle in your fingers. Okay, so this is completing your syncing hand exercises for your first beginner guitar routine. So now you've got a full 3 exercises for the left hand, full 3 exercises for the right hand, and full 3 exercises for the syncing hands. That's pretty much it for this part of the lesson. Let's go ahead and move on to the next part called diminution, and we're going to talk about chords, and I'm going to give you 2 more chords. Here we go. All right, so we're going to talk about something called diminution. Now, the word diminish in there, so that's the key, right? So we're going to be diminishing something, but don't worry, we're not going to be doing any diminished chords. Nothing like that. What we're going to be diminishing is time. I know, that's really weird. Don't worry, we're not traveling anywhere. So the word diminution basically is the concept of diminishing the time between chords as you're switching to practice the ability to move faster between the chords. Oh man, that's kind of a mess there. Here's what I mean. So the first 2 chords that we did was C and A minor, C major and A minor. And we talked about how C major is a very happy tone and a minor chord is a very sad tone. Right? But there's a concept of progression, right? So it can't just be 2 chords. It's got to go somewhere else. I mean, technically it could be, but then you'd be, kind of a boring song. So we're going to go ahead and add 2 more chords. We'll talk about those in a little bit, but here's what diminution means, right? So you take your first chord. As a beginner, I'm assuming the struggle is going from this chord, C major, and struggling to move to A minor in a quick fashion. That's how fast I can move it. That's pretty quick. But as a beginner, you might struggle with that. So what we are going to do is we're going to diminish the time between the switching. we're going to purposely insert 4 beats between the chords. So here is an example of diminution. Here we go. So I'm going to play C 4 times. And then 4 beats are going to be inserted here. 1, 2, 3, 4. During those 4 beats, we don't just let them ring. During those 4 beats, you need to be thinking, what chord am I going to? You need to be pre-planning your movement. What finger has to move to what new string or what new fret? And then you have to move it. So it's kind of like a 3-step process with a 4-beat time frame. So think of what chord is coming up next, what finger has to move to what new string or what new fret, and then you move to it. And you only got 4 beats to do it. So here's how mine sounds. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nailed it. In 4 beats, I was able to nail it. Now the concept here is to do that a couple times. Once you've gotten it, okay, then you're going to diminish the time frame within the 2 chords. So you're now going to take the 4 beats and you're going to insert a 3-beat time frame in there, and now you've got a 3-step process to do in a 3-beat time frame. So here we go with 3 beats. Check it out. This is what diminution is. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. I nailed it. Now, again, the concept is you do this at 4 beats time frame as many times as possible. Once you've nailed it, then you do it to 3 beats time frame. And you guessed it, now we're going to 2-beat time frame. And we're diminishing the time between the 2 chords. So now it's at 2. So now you have 2 beats time frame to get a 3-step process done. So here goes a 2-beat time frame. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. And I'm ready to go to my A minor. Nailed it. Now for you, it might take a little bit more time. I've been doing this for a long time. Don't try to be patient. However, if you were able to do it in a 4-beat time frame, and then a 3-beat time frame, and then a 2-beat time frame, now you want to do it in a 1-beat time frame between the 2 chords. So now you got a 3-step process to nail within 1 beat time frame. So here we go. Here's what mine would sound like from C to A minor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Nailed it. Then again, I've been doing it for a long time, right? So this idea of diminution that my instructor taught me, man, with students, it goes a long way because you do it at 4 seconds, 4 beats, 3 beats, 2 beats, 1 beat. And you are training yourself to go faster without actually going faster. But your fingers are getting used to the motion. Now, here's the deal. 4 beats, 3 beats, 2 beats, 1 beat, no beats. That means from chord 1 to chord 2. This is the goal. To be able to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 on the next chord. So you got to be able to move like that, but we're not really going any faster. Here's how mine sounds. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nailed it. So again, diminution is just the idea of practicing a combination of chords with a time frame within the chords that is being diminished by 4, 3, 2, 1, and then 0 beats time frame. So that's pretty much it. This is how you are going to be practicing chords for the rest of the time that you are labeled a beginner. Even intermediate, because I'm going to be quite honest, C major to A minor is not it's not like a super, difficult task because you're technically just moving one finger. But the next chord is a little bit more tricky. So we've got C to A minor, right? So you need to practice your diminution between any of the chords. Now the progression I'm going to give you is a 4-chord progression. Here are the chords you need to know. So you should already have C memorized, C major, A minor memorized, and the next chord is D minor in the open position, right? Because D minor over here sounds beautiful. But we're going to do D minor in the open position, and D minor is super easy. Follow what I'm telling you. Your first finger on the first string, first fret. Okay? Then your second finger, your middle finger, on the second fret, third string. And then finally your third finger, third fret, second string. And the chord kind of looks like this. Now for this chord, you're going to want to avoid hitting the 6th string because it is not part of this chord's DNA. We talked about DNA before. I'll prove it to you, man. If I play that 6th string along with this chord, nasty. So you want to avoid hitting that 6th string. You want to go 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So D minor. That was the next chord you're getting. So now we've got C, A minor, D minor. That's gonna be a monkey, man, because you guys are gonna have to jump all fingers, but pre-plan your move. For example, if I'm going from A minor to D minor, I'm gonna analyze what finger goes where. So I know my first finger has to go from the 2nd string to the 1st. My second finger has to go from the 4th string to the 3rd. And my third finger has to go from the 3rd string to the 2nd and over 1 fret. If you pre-plan it and then play it, that's fine. Now, if when you're switching, you have to go like this, 1, 2, that's okay. Until you nail that, until your hand learns what it is, you're gonna kind of have to go one by one, and that's completely okay. So far you've got C major, A minor, D minor, and the next chord I'm going to give you is G major. G major is going to be first finger on the 5th string, 2nd fret, and then second finger on the 6th string, 3rd fret, and then your third finger is going to be on the 2nd string, 3rd fret. Okay, kind of looks, there it is. So 1, 2, 3. And then your pinky, or finger 4, is going to be on the 3rd fret also on the 1st string. And G major sounds like this. Now there's a reason I'm giving you this chord. We're not going to get into it right now. All I need you to know is you need to memorize these 4 chords, because when we get to the next more musical section of your lessons, I'm going to be honest, if you're having to look at your paper, you're having to look at the screen to get the chords, it's going to kind of waste your time. So memorize these chords. So C major, which I hope you already know, A minor, D minor, and G major. Okay, remember the same rules apply as we talked about before. Only press the strings that I'm recommending, and make sure that you curve your fingers and leave that little space down here so that you know, your hand's not super tight. And then your thumb can show a little bit. Just don't wrap it around. That's not something that I want you to do. There are some people who play this way. I'm not saying that's wrong, but it is. But I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm just saying it's for a more advanced group of players, because they've gotten, you know, their muscles all worked out. What we're trying to do is get your muscles worked out, right? So I'm gonna be honest, man, you guys have to memorize these chords, because you can't rely on looking at a paper. So here's what you're going to do. You're gonna sit down this week, and you're gonna memorize C major, you're gonna memorize A minor, you're gonna memorize D minor, and then you're gonna memorize G major. Once you've gotten them memorized, you're gonna kind of circle around it. Now, I don't want you to practice the concept of diminution until the chords are memorized. That means I want you to sit down and practice C major. And here's a good idea on how to practice it, right? Put your fingers down, right? 1, 2, 3. Practice. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let them go. And then time yourself. Ready, set, go. 1, 2. How fast does it take to get you there? And then you do the same thing for A minor. You place them down, right? You've got it. 2, 3, 4, and put them down. And then how fast does it take you to get there? And then same with D minor. And then the same with G major. Now, you can go ahead and play them and not think about it and just memorize the chords, but analyze, take a look at which finger is moving and when they're moving. And if you don't need to move a finger, don't move your finger and conserve that energy for your playing. Because right now, I guarantee it, I could be wrong, probably not, but right now, if you're practicing a lot, your fingers are getting tired and you have to save some of that energy. So when you play C, right, you're going to play C a couple times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Learn it. Once you've gotten it down, you go to A minor and watch. I only need to move my third finger. So the other two stay. That'll conserve your energy. Now for A minor to D minor, all fingers need to move, right? So you practice moving each finger. And then from D minor to G major, all of them move except for your third finger. So you leave the third finger there. So you're going to go from D minor, leave the third finger, and everything goes. So you conserve energy as you're moving through the chords, and thus as you play, you can play a little longer, and your stamina is, I guess keeps going. I don't know what to say, but just practice the chords, memorize them, and then once you've got them memorized, then you do the diminution, which is leave 4 beats in between each chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 3 beats between each chord. 1, 2, 3, and then 2 beats. 1, 2, and then 1, and then nothing. That's it, man. That's pretty much it. In a couple days, we'll go ahead and look at Lesson 6, the midweek review, and what it needs to be looking like. All right, man. See you guys later. Have a wonderful week, wonderful weekend, whatever it is that you are celebrating this week. Not going to work, right? I know I am, although I technically am working right now. Anyways, see you later, and peace out, man.